One, two, three.
Hello and welcome to Kayfabe is Dead podcast episode 14. I am your host, the voice of the youth, Christian, and we're here to talk Mania, the long-awaited Mania, the time of the year where everybody is hype, everybody is excited, everybody's in good moods, ton of events that go on. And today I will be discussing, I'm not going to talk too in-depth about the Hall of Fame ceremony or the NXT takeover. I'm going to mostly be talking about WrestleMania 33 because I think 7 hours of wrestling is enough to cover in one podcast. I don't want to go too deep on anything else, But, nevertheless, I'm in good spirits. I would assume most of you guys are too. I literally... Alright, so if you guys have been listening to these podcasts, the backstory has been that I have not had internet. Luckily did the internet people, they came Friday and they fixed my internet, and it was the same guy who kept coming, and this time we got a different guy, and this guy basically snap of his fingers, it did two things, and internet is fixed better than ever, and it's good. It's great. I'm so happy. So from there, I started watching most of the things I missed. I tried watching some NXT. I watched the 24th of WrestleMania Monday, Bring It to the Tables. I watched a whole bunch of things, man. I was just excited to have internet, and I had the weekend off. It was a very good weekend for me. How about you guys? I'm going to start my podcast off with how the weekend started. We had the Hall of Fame ceremony on Friday. My first time ever watching it, to be honest, ever watching any Hall of Fame ceremony, and I mean, I skipped through some of it. I don't know who the Rock and Roll Express are like that. Like I heard of them, but as far as that goes, never seen any of their matches. Had no interest in them. I only paid attention to Teddy Long, DDP, Beth Phoenix, and Kurt Angle, of course. But the DDP one was beautiful. I would say, honestly, the DDP one was probably my favorite overall. His speech was great. And then Natalia's, if I was to take out my best person to announce, it would be Natalya. And then my favorite Hall of Fame speech would go to DDP. Kurt Angle, great. Beth Phoenix, great. JBL hazing Teddy Long. I didn't really like that. I didn't really like the form of roasting the inductee by introducing them. You know what I mean? Like, coming from JBL out of all people, talking racial equality and treat everybody the same. Meanwhile, I don't know if I talked about Mauro Ranallo, but he has been missing episodes of SmackDown. He couldn't talk Mania. And it's, he does suffer from a bipolar disorder. And apparently he's not the best right now. So my wishes with Mauro Ranallo. And he's a little depressed. He's a little out of it. He has obviously been out of tune with Twitter, been out of tune with wrestling. And it seems almost apparent that it started with JBL. So, for JBL to talk all that bullshit is... Not that what he was saying was bullshit, because I obviously 100% agree. But for it to come out of JBL's mouth, that's bullshit. There's my take on that. I'm not going to talk too heavy about that. Nevertheless, good Hall of Fame ceremony. Enjoyed it. NXT Orlando. Man, I loved it. I thought there was not one bad match. If anything, it would be the main event, but that's kind of what everybody's saying. That's the general consensus. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but goddamn that tag match. That triple threat tag match. I've been writing down my matches of the year, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Like, I've been basically every match that I see, and I'm like, oh, that's really good. I mark it down, and I kind of sort it in an order, or kind of a rough order. And it's just matches that I think are ranked. So, you know what I mean? I rank the matches as I see them. I haven't seen any of them twice yet. That'll be for the times where I make the list. But right now, just off of first watch, I got it right under the Elimination Chamber for Match of the Year because I thought the Elimination Chamber is beautiful. But that DIY, AOP, and Revival match, a lot of acronyms. It's hard to focus on it. But the storytelling in the match, the Revival and DIY teaming up to take down the forces of AOP, making AOP look strong, Authors of Pain look strong, the table spot, the dual submission spot, the trading finishers with, I think it was Scott Dawson and Johnny Gargano doing the running knee spot, while Tommaso Ciampa and Scott Dawson doing, I forgot what it was called, the Shattered Machine? It might be Shattered Machine. Something like that. That spot. Completely amazing. I would have probably had that match number 1, and it was by far the best match of the weekend, but I probably would have had that match of the year if it wasn't for the ending spot, not the ending spot, but the ending act of the match, you could say, with Revival going against Authors of Pain, just because the whole heel on heel, well, damn near Revival turned face in that shit, because it was great. It was amazing. It was great. Watch it for yourself. I didn't write notes. It was beautiful to be honestly watch a show and not write notes, and that was probably my favorite thing. That's probably why I enjoyed the event so much, because when you write notes, it just takes away of everything, and you're basically looking for moments to write down rather than personally enjoy it. And I don't know, I'm going to figure out an exact formula for all this. I'm still new to everything. But as far as, just, it's hard to enjoy the matches as well write notes. So, as I was watching WrestleMania, I was learning, let me ease off the notes and just have fun with it, because it is that time of the year. But I also want to give a great product to you guys as well. Nevertheless, the main event, Bobby Roode won. I'm okay with it. Bobby Roode as a performer doesn't do too much for me. And I see a lot of people compare him to Triple H. Maybe that's why Triple H doesn't do too much for me either. I'm sorry. But that's an unpopular opinion. Bobby Roode, I love his theme. I love his character. I love his look. His wrestling skill, not too much. He got a wicked spine buster, ironically, just like Triple H. And he got like a Triple H syndrome to me, and I'm not a big fan of Triple H. So that kind of sums it up for me. Nevertheless, a great card from NXT. Excited to see who's moving up. I think Nakamura is coming tomorrow. Today. Today, yeah. It's Monday. So I'm excited for Raw. Oh my God. If this WrestleMania did anything for me, it was to get me excited for today. But let me talk about it. It's about that time. WrestleMania 33. I'm not going to talk too much about the pre-show, because truthfully that pre-show was very bad. It wasn't good, and I was literally ranting to my girlfriend, talking about why does WWE do this? Why is WrestleMania for this mainstream audience when the crowd, if they're flying from overseas, they're hardcore fans. They're not just casual viewers watching from overseas, you know what I mean? The prices of those seats are not for casual viewers. The prices of those seats are for hardcore fans, and what us hardcore fans want to see is whatever we chant for. That's why Kevin Owens gets the pop, Goldberg gets the boos. That's why Neville gets the pop, but he didn't really get a great pop. But Styles gets the pop, and Roman Reigns gets the boos. It's not about... That's why I don't understand WrestleMania as a spectacle being shifted towards the casual audience when the people most invested are the hardcore fans, and the hardcore fans are the ones that are devoting money to you guys. The casual audience will just be hitting that free trial for the month. So what is that really doing for you? Do I make sense? It sounds good coming out my mouth. I hope you guys hear it the same way. Not going to rant, though, because this show was flat out great. Did it have low spots? Yes, it did. Did it have high spots? Yes, it did. Everything in between that was solid. It was good. Let's get to it. It was a beautiful set. A beautiful set. I'm not going to go too in-depth about it, but it was probably one of the best WrestleMania sets I could remember off the top of my head. I remember the 17 set was really good. I want to say last time they went to Orlando, I remember that set for some reason. But as far as other sets go, I don't really remember too many. But this set was something to remember. It was beautiful. Now the kickoff show started off with Neville versus Aries. A solid cruiserweight match. Pretty good. We knew they could steal the show. They didn't, though. And it wasn't because they didn't have time. I just kind of felt like they were holding back, and I do think they're going to have... This feud is obviously not over, especially with Neville. Neville won by raking the eyes of Aries, and basically raking the eyes of Aries leading into his red arrow. So, I know they're going to put on a better match, and it's probably going to be the next pay-per-view is Payback, if I'm right. Probably going to be at Payback. But as far as this match goes, Neville won. It starts off real technical. He had a 6 suplex with Aries landing on the top of his head. It looked nasty. Then my aunt called me, and I didn't miss the match. I was watching it, but I couldn't write notes. I was literally... She called me talking about... she wants I work for Adidas. She wants some Adidas. She wants to order some Adidas. And I was basically like, yeah, uh-huh. Like, I just was trying to focus on the match. She was kind of getting in the way of that, but I still love her. It's okay. But Crazy Hurricanrana from the top. It was a whole bunch of solid spots. Overall, great way to kick off the show. No complaints from me. But after that, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Not that the match doesn't mean anything, because it doesn't. But let's have somebody benefit from this win. They gave the win to Mojo Rawley, with Gronkowski appearing, and you could tell this was because that last hour was showing on the USA Network, and you wanted to basically give the casual audience, that's appealing to the casual audience, to give something to engage to. Whatever, man. Braun got eliminated early. He eliminated Big Show, and like literally the whole rest of the contestants eliminated him. So I was like, all right, well, Sammy's winning. But I still see Mojo there, so I always know he has a chance. I don't know what was Vince's obsession with Mojo Rawley, but I don't like him. Killington Dane, I know him as Big Damo. That's what everybody keeps calling him still, no matter what his name is. But had a good performance. They had that 10 Bing guy, or whatever his name was, who they just signed, who they kept calling from NXT, but he hasn't had one NXT match. Whatever. Gronkowski got in the middle of it. Jinder Mahal threw a beer in his face or threw something in his face. Gronkowski came. One security didn't know that it was actually part of the act and tried to hold him back. But besides that, every other security guard did not care because when you're a celebrity, you just get the pass. And Gronkowski ended up bull rushing Jinder Mahal, making the mid-card talent look really strong. Anyways, Mojo won. Whatever. Then we had Corbin versus Dean on the kickoff show. Your Intercontinental title was on the kickoff show. And at first, I was very tight. I was mad. I put the mad faced emojis next to it as I was typing my notes. But think about it after. If they were going to give a match like this, it should have been no disqualification anyways. And I think that's going to come just in future pay-per-views. But Dean Ambrose retained in a very okay-ish match. It was just a SmackDown match. It was nothing great about it. No WrestleMania feel to it. So whatever, put that on the kickoff show. It did nothing for me. So starting with that, I was like, you know what? This main show is going to be ass. It's going to be terrible. I was tight already. Then the main show happened. And you can't judge the main show at all by the kickoff show because the main show is what we will, as fans, go back to watch. So with that being said, if the kickoff show was good, it would have benefited WrestleMania more, but the fact that it was bad doesn't hinder it at all, if that makes any sense. Because it can't affect it. If it was great, it could affect the main show. If it was bad, it can't. Because at the end of the day, it was just to get more people on the card and a way to get everybody their payday, which you can't really hate. I mean, Neville deserves his Mania moment. Whether it's on the main card or not, at least he got something. So that's what I take on that. But now for the main show. New Day starts by cutting a whatever promo. And then here I am thinking, this show feels weird. It doesn't feel right. Then AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon starts the show. And I'm like, all right, you know what? This is really weird. The show didn't feel right. And it's kind of a theme. Like the order of the matches. I remember the order of the matches last year killed the momentum of the show. This year, I was thinking the same thing. They had Styles, Shane first, Kevin Owens, Jericho second. I was like, this is going to kill the momentum of this show. What are you guys doing? Well, I'm going to eat my words because this is why WWE at times is the professionals and they know what they're doing. Because this match order made WrestleMania better. If it would have started with the Raw Tag Team match, granted of what happened, the whole momentum of the show would have been down from there on out. So, props to the people in WWE because they caught me off guard with this one and they surprised me. They took a risky move and it worked. As far as the match goes, because I'm already 15 minutes into it. Styles versus Shane McMahon. Now, at first I thought this had a chance stealing the show just because of who AJ Styles is. We know who AJ Styles is. Now, how Shane McMahon will perform pretty damn great, to be honest with you. I love this match. I thought it was a great match. I heard some people's thoughts on it. They said it was good. No bad comments on it, but I'm giving this match a lot of credit because I love the storytelling that happened during the match. We had Shane McMahon showing his wrestling skill in the beginning when we all saw him as a striker, even though he throws rabbit punches. We saw him as a striker, and the commentating team did do a good job at explaining the story as well. And then he was showing his wrestling skill and out-wrestled AJ Styles, which I know might be a little frustrating, but we kind of got to bear with it. Out-wrestled AJ Styles, showed a whole bunch of wrestling prowess, and AJ Styles eventually changes his game plan to strikes. And he was throwing some nice little jabs. You know, they were exchanging. It was nice. It had a nice feel to it. We had a calf crusher reversed to a rear naked armbar with Shane McMahon showing his Muay Thai and a whole bunch of different submissions. He had pretty sure he had a rear naked choke. He had an armbar, omoplata, a whole bunch of moves. We had a beautiful AJ Styles 450, but into a triangle choke. I thought that was amazing. Styles clash, he hit that. Shane McMahon kicked out. That got me mad. But then the referee takes a bump. And then this is where the weapons come into play. We had 2 trash cans come out. AJ Styles used one. He tried doing the Shane McMahon coast to coast. Shane McMahon went, lifted the trash can up, hit AJ Styles with it. And then he set up his own coast to coast, hit that. Then my heart dropped. The nearest of near falls. AJ almost breaks my heart by almost losing. But he kicks out. Shane sets him up for the elbow drop outside the ring. Styles rolls out. A phenomenal forearm from AJ reversed into a beautiful DDT from Shane McMahon. Like, they had some spots in this match, guys. Shane missed he went on top. Went on the top rope. And went for a shooting star press. Ridiculous. Missed, though. Set up Styles' face is in shock. Great camera shot. And then it set up the phenomenal forearm to win. And it was honestly a great match. And even though I had the expectation of it being a great match because who AJ Styles is, it still shocked the shit out of me. And gave me a great feeling. And you know what? Styles is the MVP. And we all knew that. And there's rumors of him going to Raw. And I would like to see how it'll play out. Because the fact they put him against McMahon shows that they like him. And the fact they got him over shows that they love him. And if Vince McMahon loves somebody, we see what he does. AJ Styles has no heat. Just great matches. The crowd eats him up. They love him. I think WWE is aware of what they have on their hands. Now for Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho for the United States Championship title. A huge list of Jericho as a prop. He came out with a scarf with what is it called? I guess... I don't know, lights on it? Yeah, I guess. I was trying to think of a more technical name for it, but whatever. Overall, the entrances for Mania felt a little flat for me. I don't know if it was just me. We had some I feel like every WrestleMania entrance, at least one person in the match should have a nice, grandioso entrance. In this case, we had a lot of okay ones, like AJ Styles, who did debut a great attire. Let me get that out the way. AJ Styles, Shane McMahon both had basic entrances. Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens had basic entrances. Nothing crazy. Raw Women's title, I guess, had okay, but like a lot of okay entrances, and I expected more from it being WrestleMania. But I guess they devoted all the money into the prop design, which, you know what, I can't even hate on because it looked beautiful. The whole stage looked beautiful. But down to this match. I'm going to be honest with you. One of my least favorite matches of the day. And going into it, I thought it was going to be a great match. I had the Moon as expectations for the match. And it wasn't that it was bad. It was a good match. It was a very solid match. But granted, the story behind it, there was no story told in the match. And that's the biggest thing. Like, if this match just had storytelling incorporated into it, the match would have been 10 times better, because storytelling makes the match. Storytelling was told in, I want to say, almost every match except this one. Even the Wyatt and Orton match had storytelling in it. This really didn't tell me anything at all. So it is what it is. It was an okay match. It started with a brawl. Owens put him in the walls of Jericho. There was a sweet spot where Owens did his patent cannonball, but Chris Jericho reversed that into the walls. He did break out of a pop-up powerbomb, which is impressive. Chris Jericho had a pop-up code breaker. Like, the action was good. It was just, there was no storytelling when we are devoted and invested into these characters. So no storytelling behind it kind of throws it off for us, you know? A pop-up code breaker. What else happened? The apron powerbomb, and that kind of sealed the deal, you know? After the pop-up code breaker, Kevin Owens did a nice little fingertip on the rope. I did like that spot. That was nice, you know? Things like that kept me going. But as far as storytelling throughout the match, it felt lackluster, and this match was one of my least favorite for the day. And I will do a ranking of the matches after I recap everything. Now for the women's match. And here I am thinking, all right, there's 2 title matches, a big marquee match with Shane McMahon and AJ Styles. Like, what are they doing with this order? Some of it is going to fall flat. But, again, to my surprise, it really didn't for me. Let's talk about it, though. The women's title match, we had Bayley versus Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks versus Charlotte. Quick match, and it was because the first 2 took so long, truthfully. This match might have went 8 minutes at most. We had Charlotte starting to face off with Nia Jax, which I want to see as a feud, because they could put on some great matches. I truly think that. I think Charlotte could carry that feud to the moon. And we need some new matchups in WWE anyways, especially on that Raw division for women. So I say we should get that, and I'll talk about that a little later as we get to the ending of the match. So we had the face-off spot with Charlotte and Nia. We had what we seen almost the day before with AOP, Authors of Pain, getting teamed up by the 2 other teams. We had that happening here. We had Bayley, Sasha, and Charlotte all work together trying to take down the monster of Nia Jax. And they ended up ultimately doing that. They had a big boot into a suplex from Bayley and Banks, a triple power bomb, and they all covered Nia and eliminated her. So, pretty cool storytelling, but the fact that it happened so quick wasn't as good as what we seen the day before. Then we had Charlotte asking for a high five, and that little comedy act. But she ended up rolling out the ring saying, you know what, Bayley, Banks, you fight. And they did for a little bit until Charlotte pulled Bayley out the ring. Then we had the spots of Banks doing a flip either through the middle rope or on top of the top ring rope. I'm not too sure. No way she got above the top. But Charlotte did a beautiful corkscrew moonsault. You know, she has the best moonsault that I ever seen. And when she throws that corkscrew into it, that's for the special matches, and it's a beauty to see every time. I could watch her hit it every day, and it's still new to me. Charlotte rips up the middle turnbuckle in the left corner of the camera shot. And ultimately, Banks runs into it. Banks gets rolled up. She gets pinned. Then we have Bayley versus Charlotte facing off. And Charlotte puts Bayley in the Tree of Woe. The focus is her right knee at this point. Puts her in the Tree of Woe, and Bayley does a nice spot where she throws Charlotte off, hits the Macho Man elbow, and it's a game. Bayley wins. It was a good match. It was a solid match, but the fact is that Bayley didn't have the WrestleMania moment that she could have had. Can we judge it off of that? Can we take points away? I can't, because you know what? That moment already happened. It was a good moment nonetheless. We just knew this should have happened during WrestleMania. I do feel like it could have been done better, but I'm going to take everything for face value, and I'm going to take everything off of how it was built and erase what could have been done off of the plate. Because what could have been done is in the past. And Although I had my own dream card in episode 6 where I did my own way of how I wanted everything to happen, definitely check that one out. That's a way I plug my things. Definitely check that out. It's getting great views. It's over 50 right now. Truly incredible. I'm very happy about that. Thank you guys. Really, it means the world to me. But although we had our own ways of things we wanted to happen, a different way of things happen. And we got to accept it, and we got to learn to accept it. And I take everything for what it is. So, you know what? At the end of the day, it was a good match, and I liked it. It should have been better, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. Now we had the moment of the night. The Raw Tag Team title match. Enzo and Cass had a huge pop. Not the biggest of the night, but I do want to say that the crowd who was chanting along with them during their my name is Enzo, and this right here is big, they were damn near louder than Enzo. They were off the roof, and well, there wasn't a roof, so that would explain a lot. But they were off the chain, and it was loud as hell, and it made me get so excited for the match when I wasn't even supposed to be invested. Now it also got me excited. The New Day comes out in their ring attire gear, and they say, I just got word that this is going to be a fatal 4-way match. In the back of my mind, you guys know what we're thinking. But I'm also thinking, you know what? They might just go with the safe choice. New Day walks up, they act like they're part of the match, and all you hear is the Hardy Boys theme song. Guys, when I say I never been this shook by wrestling in my life, the Hardy Boys are back inside the WWE ring. I was so excited. I wish I could play. I'm going to play a clip of the Snapchat story that I posted due to my excitement. Like I was shaking. I couldn't take the snap video straight. I was shaking. I was going crazy. Here's part of it.
Just happened. The Hardys just came back.
Hold on, let me.
It just happened. The Hardys just came back. The Hardys just came back at WrestleMania. Yo.
I was so excited. I was yelling inside my house, which my dad goes to sleep really early because he got work early the next morning. But nope. And then when they won,
this happened. This just happened.
if you guys could see my face and my excitement, I couldn't text. I couldn't write my notes. And for the most part, I didn't write. I wrote notes for this match after it ended because I was like, you know what? I'm going to soak this one in and I'm going to enjoy this one. The Hardy Boys are your Raw Tag Team title champions, whatever. I'm still excited right now, and I'm still just patiently waiting for the clock to hit 8 so I can watch Raw tomorrow because I am geeked, guys. And I don't know if they could do broken. The chants were delete. Matt Hardy was doing his delete thing. Jeff Hardy looks absolutely normal. Matt Hardy still got the streak in his hair. I don't know what's happening, but it's okay. Whether they're broken, whether they're not broken, whether they're unbreakable, I don't care what they are. The Hardys are back, and I am excited. I am so excited, and I hope they use them correctly. And I think the fans will definitely not allow them to use them incorrectly. Holy shit, I'm excited. Let me compose my energy. I can't just go screaming on the mic, you know what I mean? The whole I don't want to hurt your headphones or speakers, whatever you're listening on. Like the whole quality would be terrible, and I don't want to ruin that experience for you guys. But if you guys could hear my heart when it was racing, when they won, absolutely phenomenal. I said too excited to take notes. Cesaro took a really bad bump, got his leg caught in the ladder, and I was scared, I was shook, and I was praying that Cesaro was not hurt because I love Cesaro. I think him and Sheamus are a great tag team. They had some great moments too. They really looked like stars here, to be honest. They look like a great tag team. And there's such potential with this tag team division. It's just they don't have much to work with. Now, the spot that everybody was alert for. Jeff Hardy came back and did his swanton bomb off a huge-ass ladder to Cesaro and Sheamus. He was supposed to break both ladders, but it was okay. Jeff Hardy is perfect. Broke the ladder of Cesaro. it happened. Matt Hardy reached for the gold, got the gold. And there are new Raw Tag Team Champions. I don't care. I didn't predict this one. I couldn't dream card this one better. This is absolutely amazing, and I am so excited for Raw today. Super excited. Oh, God. I literally got to get up right now and stretch because of how, I don't know. My back cracks so bad, and you guys are about to hear it, and don't get scared. I hope you guys could hear it, though. That's my back, literally. I'm moving around, so I don't know how the mic is going to catch it, but... Oh, God. Disgusting. I'm getting back in my seat. You know, see, what just happened? That's called a lot of momentum. That's called, after that, we need a break. Literally, we needed a break after that match, and it's hard to keep that same energy during the rest of the show, and that is what I saw a lot of people's problems. They were like, first half was good, second half was bad. Second half was good. First half was great. Now, you want to judge it off of the downfall it took? I don't think you can, because at the end of the day, they had the matches of importance at the end. The Reigns and Taker should have went last. Goldberg, Lesnar, that was in the right spot, unfortunately. The women's championship match for SmackDown, that was in a good spot in the fact of we can't have two epic matches back to back. And the women's match was good itself. I will talk about that later, but I just want to clear up everything. Then the Orton Wyatt match, it was high enough in the card to show importance. So we had to have those matches. You couldn't change that match order, or you'll make the matches look less meaningful than what they are. With all that being said, I know people might have needed a break, and you can't really take a break during a match. But the crowd was out of it for basically the rest of the show, but I wasn't. I was fully invested. The crowd might have been out of it, but I wasn't. Because watching at home, I was excited. I know it must be different when you're outside in the heat and you're sweaty and you're tired, and I understand all that. But me, I was super excited. I was glad how everything happened. And although I didn't need a break, I'm going to need a break right now to take a sip of this water. Just let me drink it in, man. All right. That was like the first half of WrestleMania. We're at 32 minutes. Let's try to get this within an hour because I do have to pick up my girlfriend in 40 minutes. So, let's talk about the match that followed it. And this match literally rode off of the momentum that the ladder match did. Miz and Maurice versus John Cena and Nikki Bella. I'm not talking about this match too much, but the Miz was on fire. Not in the ring. His character. The crowd was going crazy for the man. Cena got booed out the building, of course. Miz's awesome chance. Miz just eating the energy alive, looking like a face. Well, let's be real, though. He's the greatest thing on SmackDown. One of the greatest things on SmackDown. So, Miz, you deserve everything you get right now, and you lost. I don't agree with the loss. It ended with the thing that we've been seeing a lot on SmackDown, the stereo finishers. And you know what? Whatever. Miz, they both... You know what I didn't like? The Miz got pinned. Even though he wasn't even the person in the match. It wasn't like an elimination match or anything. The Miz got pinned. Why are we pinning The Miz? Pin Maurice. She's not the fighter. She's not the wrestler here. She was, but she's not right now. Nikki Bella is. Pin Maurice, protect Miz, have him stay away from the pin. I know you want to look Nikki Bella and John Cena on top of the world, but just give Nikki Bella the spotlight. And John Cena could still do what he did after. Like, hey, you had this moment with me. Now let me give you another moment to talk about. Because he did end up proposing to her. Looked a little weird. I mean, not looked, but sounded a little weird. He kind of told her things while she was unconscious almost, like in the state of unconscious. Weird. It reminded me of Stephanie and Triple H getting married a little bit, you know, with the whole drive-through wedding scene. But you know what? It's John Cena, so he would never do that. I don't know. It's just weird, but whatever. It's something for your Total Diva storyline. As far as Mania goes, cool moment. That's all it's going to be. I'm not going to go back and watch that match at all. Hell no. That's what I'm going to skip. But good for what it is. Now we had what I consider match of the night. I understand the triple threat ladder match happened, and I was trying to think which is my match of the night. Is it the triple threat ladder match? Is it this one? And I think I was just eating off of that Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy momentum a little too much, so I had to give it to the match that I thought was better, that got more time, that told the story. And it was Triple H versus Seth Rollins. Triple H came out in a tricycle, literally a trike, damn near like a motorcycle trike, whatever it is. Didn't look that badass, but it is Triple H, so he always looks like a badass. Seth Rollins came with a sweet gear, and shout out to the design on that gear, because if you saw it, he had his initials, of course, but then he also had a shield on it, which I thought that was pretty sweet. That was a pretty sweet subliminal in there, as I would say. The action picked up quick, and I guess this, what was it called? I forgot what the match was, being non-sanctioned, unsanctioned. I guess that means no DQ. I didn't even know that. So, you learn new things every day. I really got to get comfortable right now, because we're 40 minutes in, and I feel like I'm in an awkward position. So if you hear any rumbling in the back, I'm sorry. Okay. Let me tweak things up a little bit. I'm on air. I always say on air like I'm live. I really am not, though. I wish I was. One day, I hope I could do this live to you guys. All right, now that I'm relaxed. The action picks up quick. Triple H has a nice spike DDT on the table. The main focus is the knee, as it should. He keeps targeting it. A sunset flip spot, like the same thing that got Rollins injured, that reappeared now. And, they obviously, he didn't really get injured, but they made the story being told as he did. And I thought it was unique, and I thought it was cool, and I thought it was smart. We had a crossbody, a frog splash. Triple H put his Seth Rollins' knee in the chair and did some vicious shots to it. I always think those look like it hurt. Even, I don't know how they kind of mask around that, because that looks painful as hell, and I don't think there's a way to really cover that up. Rollins is in, I think it was a figure four outside the ring, and he's just looking for something to hold on to. He needs something to hold on to, so he's looking for under the ring for chairs or something. He ends up finding a sledgehammer, and he kind of pushes it towards Triple H accidentally. Triple H almost, not traumatized, but what is it called? Hypnotized, that's what I mean. Hypnotized by the sledgehammer. And, where am I at? Sorry. Under the ring, including the sledgehammer. Rollins grabs it in the corner, as the sledgehammer does go in the ring. Okay. Wait, what do we... Okay, yeah. So, Rollins grabs... I'm sorry. I kind of get lost in my notes sometimes as I do it. And I'm just trying to do the key moments. I could rush through it. But Rollins grabs the sledgehammer in the corner. About to use it. He's almost nearing against the ropes. And Stephanie grabs it from him. And Rollins leads into the pedigree. And he gets hit with the pedigree. Very great near fall. Had me shook for a second, because the pedigree is a very protected move. And then Triple H wanted to go for the killer with the attempt pedigree on top turnbuckle, which Rollins reversed out of that, hit a beautiful Phoenix Splash. Then they had a beautiful spot where pedigrees continue to be countered. I do think Seth Rollins needs to drop the pedigree now. I don't know what his next move is going to be, but he needs to drop the pedigree. Maybe he'll go with that Phoenix Splash now that he's a face, but that pedigree can't. I don't want that. But they kept countering the pedigree. And then Triple H almost runs into Steph after Seth Rollins pushes him. And then after he gets bounced back into the ring, but bounced back into the center of the ring, Seth Rollins hits him with a super kick, which then leads Triple H to push Stephanie McMahon off by accident. And there was a table already set up. Stephanie McMahon goes through it. Thank God. I need to see that a million more times over. Goes through it. Triple H in shock, in furious in agony, leads back into a pedigree, and he loses. Seth gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Great match to watch. The crowd was kind of into it, kind of not. I understand from the crowd's perspective, but as a fan watching at home, the match was great. The match would have been 10 times better if the crowd was into it, but the crowd not being into it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't harm me. It doesn't affect me. So, great match. Match of the night. Loved it. Now we had the Mania moment of the night. Pitbull, Flow Rider, Stephen Marley, Lunch Money Lewis. Oh my God, put on a hell of a show. Great concert. Shout out to... I'm kidding. Why do we have these people performing during WrestleMania? It's just to, like I'm saying, to cool off the crowd, to, give them a chance to relax, give them a chance to chill, but do we got to do that? I think there's more they could do. I'd rather have that, that long, dragged out Mania segment of The Rock coming out. Because at least, The Rock is The Rock. This doesn't do anything for me. You know what didn't do anything for me? The next match. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. When it came on, I completely forgot about it. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I forgot this match is happening. It needed to be fast-paced to work. And in the very beginning, it was. And I was like, all right, man, this match might work out. Because the way Wyatt's and Orton's styles are, they're a little too slow and methodical. So when they're matched together, it just sounds like a slow, boring match. They need to be partnered against somebody with speed and rhythm into their offense. So when you pair them against each other, it might not work out. But if they started off fast like they did, it worked out pretty good. I was into this match from the very beginning. Wyatt kept doing his bridge, and there would be different graphics of disturbing images, whether it be crickets, worms, or I think they had 2 worms and 1 cricket. I was digging that. It was creepy. It was different. It was nice. It was cool. I was digging it, to be honest. But as good as I like that, as much as I like that, the fact that different does work sometimes. Why Sister Abigail Orton into the barricade, maybe like 5 minutes in. Randy Orton hit an RKO outside the ring, maybe like 6 minutes in, 7 minutes in. He teased the punt. Orton eventually kicked out of a Sister Abigail inside the ring. At this point, it was going very slow, and it was kind of taking me out of the match, but it was okay, because, I could deal with some slow spots. But Orton hits 1 RKO, and he wins. Not mad that he hit 1 RKO and won. I'm mad that he won, in general. If Wyatt would have won, even if this match was as it stood, and Wyatt won, it would have been a good match for me. The fact that Orton won, and the match happened as it did, this was the worst match of the card. Worst match of the day. I'm going to say that right now. Besides the kickoff show, because that Battle Royal was trash. But, which was the worst match on the main card. So, your champion is now boring Randy Orton. They had something, man. They had something. They were so close to having a new, revigorating feud. And they blew it. And Orton is your champion. And Wyatt looks weak. 3 Manias losing. Might be 4. I'm not too sure. Definitely lost to Cena, Undertaker. No, he didn't have a Mania last year, so he only has 3. And they're all losses. Okay, whatever. Let's skip that. Let's stay positive. How are we supposed to stay positive with Brock Lesnar and Goldberg next? How? You know how? The match was fucking awesome. That match, you guys know, going into this match, that I was not a big fan of the feud, not a big fan of the build-up, not a big fan of anything about the fact that the match was happening, the fact that Goldberg was champion, the fact that Brock Lesnar got a championship shot while losing all of his last matches. I was not a fan of anything about it. No, not at all. But the match was fucking awesome. Okay? Fast pace. 3 suplexes coming out the gate from Lesnar. Then Goldberg quickly turned into Goldberg that he was. Hit the spear. Think he hit the jackhammer early as well. Lesnar kicks out. He goes for the spear again. Lesnar does a crazy leapfrog. I wrote down Goldberg hits 4 spears. Lesnar, as Goldberg goes for his 5th, Lesnar hits a crazy leapfrog. Looked awesome. 10 suplexes came from Lesnar to a 50-year-old Goldberg, or however old he is. F5. Match finito. Lesnar is your champion. You know what? I don't hate it as much as I thought I would. They did it great. They played it off amazing. The crowd booed Goldberg in the beginning, cheered Goldberg at the end. Man, I don't know if Goldberg's going to appear again, but I really don't care about Goldberg anyways. But goddamn, I was very shocked by this match. One of the most enjoyable matches of the night, to be honest. Surprised me. Then we had the cool-off match, the Women's Six-Pack Challenge. They got very limited time. But even with this limited time, I enjoyed this match a lot. To be honest, a lot. Because all these women were able to get spots in, and we had none of the. I know some of the art of wrestling is the storytelling you could tell within the time of the spot, and that's why Okada and Omega is so great, because the storytelling between the spots. The fact, I'm not a big fan of the match, but the fact that he didn't hit his Rainmaker the whole match, the fact that Omega kept basically kicking out of Okada's finisher, which I forgot what it was, but there was storytelling within that, and that is honestly the art and beauty of matches, of Mania matches, of big wrestling matches in general. But this match satisfied all my needs. As much as a long match would have been cool, a short match doesn't do too much. It doesn't take away too much from me. Naomi had a cool entrance. The crowd, they were as hype as they could be, as exhausted as they were. So Naomi had a great entrance, and Naomi won. After, I'll talk about some spots real quick. Bex Ploder on Ellsworth, a double sharpshooter from Natalya on Naomi and Carmella, Mick DDT on Becky, spot after spot, really great action. A rear view on Bliss. That was really the only thing to hype the crowd up. The crowd was behind Naomi, and Naomi wins in a weird submission. I don't know what it's called exactly. It was rushed, but it was good. Naomi got her spot. Naomi got her moment. And I'm really digging Naomi right now. I think the Feel the Glow gimmick isn't what I would love. It isn't my most desirable gimmick to like, but overall, I'm digging it now. Her entrance is dope. She's getting the crowd on her side, and I'm excited for her title reign. Hopefully it's not long, hopefully it's not short. Hopefully she gets a proper push. New Day came back out. They announced the attendance number was 75,245. I don't know if it was that much, but they definitely packed that house with at least 70,000. So WrestleMania consistently being that draw, no matter what. Of hardcore fans, nonetheless. Not of these goddamn casual fans. No casual fan could drop $2,000 for a ticket. I'm still trying to find my way to Mania. Anyways. Not trying to. Alright. Main event. For the third year in a row. Roman Reigns is in it. Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. It happened. Roman Reigns' entrance was trash. Attire, trash. If I was booking this, the match could have went as it did. Alright, the match was good. It was good. Not great, not bad. It was good. I sometimes mess up and say good, mixing great with good. But no, it was good. It was solid. Undertaker's an old man. Alright, he's a very old man. He can't do too much. He's very limited in the ring. Say what you want. Reigns carried this match. He carried it. Okay? You could talk about how Reigns isn't a great wrestler, and maybe that's why the match wasn't enjoyable to you. Because Reigns carrying the match doesn't do anything for you. But for me, I enjoy Reigns, and I don't like what they're doing with him. And what I would have done per se, Roman Reigns comes out with a new entrance. Maybe not new theme, but new attire, new way to walk out, everything else. And we officially have Reigns turn heel. And that's what we wanted. And they announced the match to be no holds barred, which was interesting. I don't remember them doing that too often. I know they did it with, I think, Rock and Austin back in 20, I want to say. But it happened. It was a cool surprise to all of us. in my mind, I was thinking, what if they did this in a buried alive match? The only way to get rid of Undertaker is literally to kill him. I thought that would have been cool, but then we would have never got the moment at the end. Which, that moment at the end was everything. So let's talk about the spots that happened, and then we'll talk about the iconic, the memory-saking moment at the end. Taker in the beginning dominates Roman Reigns, throws him out the ring, says, "This is my yard." Throws him out the ring again, says, "This is still my yard." Funny. It was pretty good. It was an okay pace start. Then it picked up a little more, but it never really got into action-packed. We had a spear through the announce table. Roman Reigns got back in the ring, said, whose yard is it now? And then as soon as he said that, Undertaker does the sit-up. Cool spot. Reigns on top, throwing shots, and then eventually gets to the last ride. Undertaker, you could tell he can't even do the last ride anymore, and it's sad to see, but it's what happens. He should have retired when Lesnar defeated him, to be honest, because that's when Undertaker started looking real bad. But, and anyways, he throws shots, get hit with the last ride. Undertaker uses some chairs, demolishes him with the chairs, even though Roman Reigns got the best, so you can't really notice it. 2 Superman punches, the third reverse into a chokeslam onto the chair. Tombstone, still not enough. We got Super Roman in full effect. A botched Tombstone flip reversal. It almost looked like Roman Reigns was going to use the Tombstone. And I think that would have said a lot to him being a heel. But you could tell Undertaker couldn't hold up. I don't think it was Roman's fault. I think it was Undertaker really showing his old age and not being able to get his body up. But botched Tombstone spot. We had another spear. We had a Hell's Gate. We had a rope break, which I thought was weird in a no-holds-barred match. Are there rope breaks and no-holds-barred? Because I don't remember that ever being into effect. It's the WWE using their rules whenever they feel like it. Because usually it's like, oh, no, you can't. You could hold on to the ropes. You could try to get out through that. But as far as a rope break happening, that can't happen. So that was weird to me. But that just led into awkwardness. And that's when the match really kind of got a little weird. Just as far as the feeling of it was weird. Roman started unleashing chair shots at Undertaker. And I felt the heel tone into Roman. But you saw Roman's face and he almost looked like he didn't want to do it. I don't know. I would have had his reaction. It was kind of mixed between he didn't want to do it or him turning heel. I would have had his reaction fully heel and just having him commit to the turn because he's going to get heel heat come 8 o'clock today. Another spear, another near fall. Another spear, another near fall. Undertaker was not going down. Superman punch. Undertaker sits up. But then he falls back down. He can't hold himself up anymore. Spear. Undertaker lost. 20 whatever and 2. Undertaker lost. The pyro goes off. Roman Reigns in the background. Roman Reigns. Headlining 3 WrestleManias. I'm a fan of Roman Reigns. Heel turn needs to happen more than ever. I'm a fan of Roman Reigns versus Lesnar too. I loved the first one. Before Rollins even interfered. I love that match. And the booking they had Roman Reigns going into that match was good as well. But it was ready. The fans already had a bad taste in his mouth due to everything that happened before. But that match was good. Match 2 will be even better. It will be a great match. Trust me. But let's turn Reigns into Lesnar, at least character-wise, and have him be a badass. Not heel nor face. If we're not going to turn him heel. Let's just have him be a badass. Suplex City merchandise sells. I know you don't want Roman Reigns to, turn heel and you lose all this merchandise, markability. It's whatever. Take the L, okay? Build more faces. We have Sami Zayn. We have Styles, who could easily be reversed into a face. We have Wyatt, who could be a face if he wanted to. I would always want him to draw the line, but whatever. We have these potentials. We got the Enzo and Casses. We got the Hardys now. They're going to sell merch like crazy. Shinsuke's about to be promoted to the main roster. We have faces. Make Roman Reigns turn heel. We don't have enough heels. That's the problem. But that Roman Reigns talk is for another day. And the crowd realized too. They're like, this isn't about Reigns right now. This is about Undertaker. Undertaker leaves his gloves, his jacket, his hat in the ring, goes outside, breaks kayfabe because kayfabe is dead. Episode 14. Breaks kayfabe, kisses Michelle McCool, walks out the ring. Walks out he starts heading toward the ramp. Has his fist up, and the floor sinks. And the Undertaker is done. He's retired. I would assume, at least. Undertaker. I know people cried. Me, myself, I'm not the biggest fan of Undertaker. I was never the biggest fan of Undertaker. I don't know. I had a friend who always was, and we'll always have arguments back and forth, but it just wasn't me per se. Nevertheless, he's an iconic figure. It's the end of an era. It's the end of it's the end of the Undertaker, for Christ's sake. 27 years of wrestling, 27 years of Mania. Even though I wasn't the biggest fan, it's not like I hated the guy. I think his matches with Shawn Michaels are classics. The match with Batista is simply amazing. What he was, who his character was, probably the best character I would say of all time. If we consider Stone Cold just Stone Cold rather than a character himself, but Ric Flair retired and he didn't break kayfabe. He did his Undertaker one knee, and Undertaker's done, and it's okay. He needed to retire, but we were always say, you know what, Undertaker needs to retire here, but we were never ready for it. I wasn't ready for it, and I don't know. Thank you, Taker. Mark Calloway. Thank you for the 27 years you put in the company. You deserve all time off. Just relax that body, get all the surgeries you need. Shout out to The Undertaker. Very sad, but if that's not a Mania moment, I don't know what is. Another quick shout out. Jim Ross did commentary on this match, and I just got the notification leaving school today, signed a 2-year deal with WWE. Very excited. I don't know if it's commentating. I don't know if it's behind the scenes. Mauro Ranallo, I don't know what's happening with him. Tom Phillips did a great job. Shout out to Tom Phillips. This is just my overall thoughts on everything. Shout out to Tom Phillips. Shout out to JR. JR. Shout out to you. You're dealing with a lot right now. Unfortunately, his wife of a long time passed, Jen Ross. And she passed in the accident. She was on a scooter, and she got hit. And it's unfortunate, of course, but all thoughts and prayers are out to you, to Jim Ross and his family. He was in love. Obviously, he was with her for a very long time. I think it was 22 years. Condolences with you. It's another sad wrestling death, but let's not end this on such a gloomy note. Great WrestleMania. Honestly, guys, I seen, Voice of the Youth. I'm young. I'm 18 years old. I seen at least 9 WrestleMania live, as in at my home. I wish I could go to one. But off top of my head, this has to be one of the best ones I've seen. It was great. It was amazing. To rate the show as a whole, the best pay-per-view of the year so far, I gave Elimination Chamber, I think, a 8.5 at the time. I might have been talking out my ass at the time. All good matches. There's a few downfalls, but you're going to have that in a 7-hour show, right? You know what? I'm not going to give this pay-per-view any slack. It's going to be a damn near 9 out of 10. If I was to rate it off of what is it called? A letter grade, A-, B+. What it had to deal with the cards it was dealt, it couldn't have done a better job with very few exceptions, being Wyatt, and basically it, to be honest. the build for Bayley. Well, the build in general, but I'm saying as the card was. Looking at the card, like, I was blind until all the build that happens, and I just saw the promo packages before. A-, B+, right around that grade, right around that area. Amazing show. If I was to rank the matches real quick before I log off, we're already at the hour mark. From top to bottom, like if I was to rank the best match on top, Triple H versus Seth Rollins, tag team ladder match, AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon, Goldberg versus Lesnar, Roman Reigns versus Undertaker, just because of everything behind it. Like, the moments do matter. Like, they really do. I don't want to miss any, so I'm just making sure I got everything. So I said Roman Reigns versus Undertaker, the Raw Women's title match, SmackDown Women's title match. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. It's hard. This is where the weak ones kind of get a little hard. I'll put KO versus Jericho. Then I got Miz and Maurice versus Cena and Bella. Then I think all is left is Wyatt versus Orton. I feel like there's one more match, but I don't think so. Wyatt versus Orton definitely takes the L for the day. Worst match on the card. It's a shame, but it's true. Not including the kickoff shows. If I was to do the kickoff shows, I'll probably have Neville and Aries match above Cena and Miz, and then everything else falling the same with the Memorial Battle Royal and Intercontinental being at the very bottom as well. But overall, great Mania. Had a blast watching it. Had a great weekend. I need to attend one of these shows, man. I think we all do as a fan. We gotta attend one of these shows. Well, guys, with all that being said, I think that's everything I have to say. I'm glad I got this out in time, because it was looking like I was not going to be able to get this out till tonight. And I'm happy I got it out now. So, with all that being said, guys, hope you had a great Mania. You could listen to my prediction podcast, see if I was right. You could listen to my Dream Card podcast, episode 6. See if what I booked was better. Let me know. Hear that out. Let me know if I did a better job. This is going to be the last time I promote it. I promise you. Thank you guys for listening. You can find us us as a whole. We do have an MMA podcast, NBA podcast. Been slacking on a little bit just because the NBA season is getting a little dry due to the fact that it's about to be playoff season. So then that's where it picks up. And MMA, just time constraints, and there hasn't really been any pay-per-views either. But nevertheless, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the great WrestleMania. We're talking about Thank You Taker. We're talking about Jim Ross and his whatever. I'm sorry. All wishes with Jim Ross. Please hit him up on Twitter or something. Just know that he does have supporters that are praying for him and on his side. With all that being said, the Hardys are back in a WWE ring, and Raw is happening tonight, and I can't wait. And oh my God, the excitement is flowing through my veins. But let me stay composed, because I'm tuning out. You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube under the name All of the Above ENT. I am your host, Christian, the voice of the youth. Nobody named me that. I named myself that. I'm trying to coin something, you know. Everybody has, all right, my name is Christian. You know how generic that is? I hear Solomonster. I mean, his name is Jason Solomon, I'm pretty sure. But, like, even that's a cool name. Like, Solomonster. Like, I don't have a nickname. Like, I watch Steven Larson going in Raw. That's a really good podcast, too. But, like, all these, you know, I don't have a nickname. Voice of the Youth, because I'm 18, and I'm busting my ass getting these podcasts to you guys. So I hope you guys appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy. With all that being said, I'm out.